Hello. One of the questions I'm asked by new gardeners that are new to my channel, that are new to growing vegetables in buckets and bags and pots, is how much water should I be giving my vegetables and how often should I be watering them? My answer to that would be that if you give them too much water, that would be bad. If you didn't give them enough water, that could be terminal. So you need to be giving them water in quantities that keep the soil moist all the time. If you're growing in a really hot climate, then you will need to give your buckets more water than you would if you were growing in a temperate climate. But just try and keep the soil in the bucket, in the bag, in the pot moist. But something that's just as critical as how much and how often is how do you do that? How do you get that water into that bucket, that bag, that pot? Well, my choice is a watering can. And if you're going to use a watering can, there is a right and a wrong way to do it. I made a short video on that about 3 years ago and loaded it up to my channel. I'm going to cut you back to that now. Watch the video and enjoy your gardening. Hello. If you're growing vegetables in pots, I would have thought it would have been obvious how to water the pot if you're using a watering can. But it's not that obvious. It just isn't. Particularly if you're new to gardening, if you're new to growing things in pots. Let me first give you an example of how not to water vegetables in a pot, and then I'll show you how I do it. And for this little demonstration, I've got just about a pint of water in this container I'm going to put in this watering can. These are some potatoes growing in a pot. These are some carrots growing in a pot. I don't know if you can see, Molly's lying down front there. I'm going to put the rows on the watering can. Okay. And I'm going to give these carrots 1 pint of water there or thereabouts. It's quite windy today, the sun's out. We'll just do this. Okay. Now I know that isn't a lot of water, but it's enough for this demonstration. I'll just put another pint of water in here and we'll do the potatoes. Excuse me, Molly. Okay, so that's the carrots watered. We've got another pint of water in this watering can. We'll do the potatoes. Okay, now that might be equivalent to a light shower. I don't know, it's hard to tell when it rains just how much water actually goes into your pots, and you might actually be tempted not to water them at all because it's rained. But that would be a mistake unless you've had torrential rain, and I'll tell you why. I'm not too sure if you can see this, but most of this water that I put on this potato plant is still on the leaves. In fact, very little of it has got onto the soil or the dirt in the pot. Most of it is on these leaves, and most of the water that went on these carrots is on the leaves. Very little, if any, has gone into the pot. It's on the leaves. When I move these pots out of the way, you'll see that there's a quite a bit of water, actually not even on the leaves. You can see it's on the ground. So most of this water hasn't actually got onto the potato plant or the carrots at all. It's either gone on the leaves where it'll just evaporate off, it'll do the plant no good at all, or it's finished up on the ground and again it'll do the plants no good at all. It needs to be on the soil, on the compost, in the pot. Okay, now I'll show you how to do it properly with another pot of carrots and another pot of potatoes. This is how I water my pots. First of all, we remove the rows and we water just using the nozzle and directly to the soil or dirt or compost in that pot. Okay. Now if I pour in there a pint of water, I know that that potato's had a pint of water. It's all gone in the pot. It's gone nowhere else but into that soil, into that dirt. Let's do the carrots. I've just put another pint's worth of water in this watering can. Put the nozzle into the carrots and water the compost. Water the soil, water the dirt. Now I know that pot of carrots has had a pint of water there or thereabouts, and I know this potato has a pint of water there or thereabouts. Had I watered over the top of these plants, then who knows what would have gone in the pot. Certainly wouldn't have been a pint of water, and if a pint of water is say equivalent to a light shower, I don't know, maybe even more than a light shower, then there's a light shower's worth of water gone into those pots. But it wouldn't go into those pots if it was an actual light shower, would it? I mean, I've demonstrated that earlier. Most of it would not go into the pots. So it's vitally important, this is where the water goes, not over the top. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.